Hey guys, it's Melina from Suffer in the Woods. I was going to make a video a few minutes ago, but then I had something eat my hand. I'm not sure I can show you really, because it's not that easy to see. No, doesn't matter. But I was moving a stone that was lying here. There was actually a fireplace like this. There's a fireplace and I needed to move it, and under it were a lot of ants. Don't know if you can see them. They're so busy now. And those ants just kind of attacked my hand. So I had some bites on that side, I had some bites on that side. And it was itching and it was annoying. So I was very focused on that. What I was actually doing was putting out this tray of clay, because I'm gonna mix it now with some ashes I already had and some sand I brought from Bornholm. This is clay that I bought from Bornholm as well. I just been there for 2 months, and I already slammed it up in water on Bornholm, and I brought it here in its liquid form. And last night I poured it onto this tray so that the water can evaporate a bit from it. And then I'm going to mix in a little bit of the finest sand that you can imagine, because you do have that on Bornholm. It's very fine sand. I'm going to get it in, in the shot here. Very fine sand. And then I have the ashes that I know are pure birch tree. That's pure birch tree ashes. Because I don't light my fires with anything but birch bark, and this there were many rounds that I burnt with only birch wood and lit by the birch bark. So I know for a fact that all this ashes is completely pure 100% birch ashes. I'm gonna mix that in the clay. But first, I wanted to clear the ground in front of me, because I was walking around in my bare feet, and what I did was to step on this one. I stepped on this piece of wood lying on the grass. Why was that lying here? Well, because some idiot was making a project in the spring when there was no growth here, no long tall grasses. And she cut off these pieces of the old bed and just left them lying there on the ground under the table for herself to come back 2 months later feeling like a child of the nature, walking around in her bare feet. So I am no longer in my bare feet. I put my foot in water immediately because it went in rather deep, and put some dish soap on it, washed it thoroughly, put a band-aid on, and put my sandals on. So I'm over the initial crisis, but my lord, what an idiot. So from being this complete connected child of nature walking bare feet, I'm now an old careful woman. That's perhaps not a good idea. So in this tray, I don't know if you can see it that well. I'm just going to move the camera a little bit. In this tray, I am going to just drizzle some of the ashes and some of the sand. And should I measure it out so that it will be 10%? Yes, I should. If I was a potter or a ceramist, I am not. I am just me playing with clay. So I'm just gonna drizzle this in and mix it up. And why am I making this? Well, I'm making this because ceramics or playing with clay is my new hobby. I haven't done played with clay since I was a kid. And I thought that the way that we played with clay in art classes, or what it was called, forming, which is called play art, I guess, when we were in preschool or in the primary school. I just thought that was the way they taught children to play with clay. But now I have realized that, well, the techniques that we learned about coiling and pinching and everything, that's the way it's done. That's the way you really do it. It's not just for kids. That's the way ceramists and potters make their ceramics. And yeah, so I thought, well, if anyone else can do it, so can I. I do not have a lot of clay in the ground up here in Sweden, but they do on Bornholm, and I go to Bornholm 2 months every summer to meet friends and to make a living. So I work in the tourist business for 2 months and try to make enough money to sustain me for the rest of the year. Well, so I can be up here in my little cabin in Sweden and just live life and have fun with my dog, go swimming. We just went swimming in the nearby lake, and then I came home and yeah, stepped on a nail. Got bitten by some ants that were mad that I moved the roof over their head. I can understand that, but yeah. So this is gonna be mixed up, and then I'm gonna leave it in the sun the rest of the day to dry up, and then I'm gonna see how plastic it gets, and if it's too smooth still, I can just mix in a little bit more sand and a little bit more ashes, and I'm gonna make some cups, I guess. Maybe a few saucers. I'm not sure what's gonna come out of it. Cups and saucers. You can see at my face that the sun is really out there today. It's gonna be a nice day, or it is a nice day. It's gonna be a warm day. It's gonna be a little more cloudy this afternoon, but that's okay. It's not gonna rain. So we can leave the clay out here. I'm going to find some buckets. I was around looking for buckets and I couldn't find any. So I guess that all my buckets have gone with holes in them or something. But I found this bigger bucket. I'm gonna put some of the stones that I picked up on Bornholm that contains clay. I'm gonna put them in there with a lot of water. I'm gonna make a solution like I did with this, and the clay is lighter than sand and dirt. So when you put that in a bucket of water and you stir it up really vigorously, all the clay particles will solute in the water. Solute, what do you call it? They will float around in the water, and the heavier sands and stone and the things that you don't really need in the clean clay will sink to the bottom. So you will stir it around, punch up those rocks that are in the clay. You can just give them a good hammer, or just leave them in the water for a while. So I'm gonna show you what we have here. big rocks, actually. And these kind of rocks are dried clay with a lot of sand in it because it's from the coast. And you just put them in that bucket of water, let the water do the work initially, and then with a stick or something else you can just poke it and make it smaller until it becomes sandy. You stir it vigorously with a stick and leave it for just a couple of minutes. Then all the heavier sediments will go to the bottom, and you can just pour out that water with all the clay in it into another vessel, and then you can let that sit. Then the water at the top of this, the clay will eventually sink to the bottom, and the top water, the excess water, will be completely clear, and you can carefully scoop that away, and more as you go you will have only clay left. Now that will of course have a lot of water content, and that's why I pour it into that tray, so you make a bigger surface that can evaporate in the sun. It's a lengthy process, but I believe that always when you work with nature, you can't skip things. It's allowed to take a long time, and it will take a long time. And then when you get the finished clay, you can form a cup or 2 or 4. They have to dry at least for a day or 2 before they get this leathery dry, and then you can start shaping them and finishing them. Then they have to dry for a long time, and then dry some more in near the heat, and then eventually you can put them in the fire and burn them and see if they become porcelain, ceramics, or if they just burst and crack because you had too much or too little sand or too much water, whatever. And it's a lengthy process when you deal with nature. It's like planting stuff and seeing it grow the next year, and it's gonna take that time, and I have that time. Yes, it's true, I need to make a lot of projects, I need to build stuff, but I also need to play. So play is going to be an important part of my daily life now. So the process has begun, and I'm going to take you on the journey, and I'm going to show you the steps of the development of clay into cups, into ceramics, into fire, whatever. So I hope you found this interesting, and I hope you want to join me. Thanks for watching for so long. And on that note, Sappho wants to play with her ball, and we're gonna get her running. Where is she? There she is. Run. See you on the next one. Bye for now.